If I were to tell you that everything you see, touch, and perceive, your body, the stars, the planets, every single atom, exists only thanks to an invisible particle smaller than anything you can imagine. A particle so fundamental that without it there would be no mass, no matter, there would be nothing. In 2012, after decades of research, scientists at CERN made a discovery that changed our understanding of reality forever. A discovery that reveals to us that the universe is much more mysterious and profound than we had ever imagined. If this intrigues you, and you want to find out how a single particle can reveal the deepest secrets of existence, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. What I'm about to share with you could change the way you see reality forever. July 4th, 2012 is a date that will remain etched in the history of science. In a conference room at CERN in front of hundreds of physicists from all over the world, the discovery of the Higgs boson was officially announced, what was provocatively called the God particle. But what exactly is this particle and why is it so important? To understand it, we must take a step back and ask a fundamental question. Where does mass come from? Why does an electron have mass while a photon, the particle of light, does not? Why are some particles heavy while others travel at the speed of light as if nothing were stopping them? The answer, according to modern physics, lies in an invisible field that permeates the entire universe, the Higgs field. Imagine the entire universe immersed in an invisible substance, invisible to our eyes but real and measurable, like a transparent ocean in which we are constantly immersed without realizing it. This is the Higgs field, a quantum field that fills every cubic centimeter of space, from intergalactic vacuum to the nucleus of atoms. Here's the extraordinary thing. This field really exists. It has been measured. It has been experimentally confirmed. But we cannot see it. This shows us something profound. What our eyes perceive is only an infinitesimal slice of reality. Reality is much vaster and richer than what our senses can capture. When a particle moves through this field, it interacts with it. It is this interaction that gives the particle mass. The stronger the interaction, the greater the mass will be. It's like walking through a room full of molasses. If you are big and interact a lot with the molasses, you move slowly and seem heavy. If you are small and smooth, you move easily. But here's the crucial point. Without this field, the universe as we know it simply could not exist. All particles would travel at the speed of light, unable to slow down, unable to aggregate, unable to form atoms. The universe would be a sea of pure energy, perfectly symmetrical, but completely sterile. Think about it. Every atom in your body, every molecule, every cell exists only because the particles that compose them were able to slow down and aggregate thanks to their interaction with this invisible field. You are literally made of interactions with the invisible. But there is something even more extraordinary and unsettling at the same time. The values of this field, its properties, are calibrated with a mathematical precision that borders on the impossible. If the energy of the Higgs field were different by just 0.1%, matter would not exist in the universe. If the Dirac equation, which describes the behavior of particles, were altered by 1%, the very structure of matter would collapse. The strong nuclear force, which holds protons and neutrons together in atomic nuclei, if it were 1% weaker, no stable nuclei would form. If it were 1% stronger, hydrogen would not exist, and therefore no stars could ignite. No chemistry, no biology, no life. This mathematically improbable precision raises profound questions about the nature of reality. It is as if the universe were calibrated to perfection to allow for the existence of complexity, life, consciousness, and all this is mediated through the Higgs field. The discovery of the Higgs boson is part of an even deeper theoretical framework, quantum field theory. According to this theory, everything that exists, every particle, every force, every phenomenon emerges from fundamental quantum fields. There are no solid particles in the classical sense. What we call an electron is actually an excitation of the electron field. A photon is an excitation of the electromagnetic field. And the Higgs boson, it is an excitation of the Higgs field. We are immersed in an ocean of constantly fluctuating quantum fields. Even in the emptiest vacuum we can imagine, these fields continue to vibrate, continuously creating and annihilating virtual particles. It is as if the universe were an invisible orchestra in which each instrument plays a symphony of which we only perceive the echoes. And doesn't all this make you think of a concept that was so popular in ancient science? I'm talking about the ether. Einstein, in 1905, had apparently eliminated the concept of ether forever. That invisible medium that 19th century physicists imagined was necessary for the propagation of light. But now, stop for a moment and reflect. These quantum fields that permeate all of space, this ocean of virtual particles in which we are immersed, this space-time that vibrates and undulates. Doesn't it remind you of something? The concept of ether, so widespread in the past, seems to be returning to modern physics in a new guise. It's as if the ancient philosophers and scientists, even without today's sophisticated instruments, had intuited something profoundly true about the nature of reality. Not the mechanical ether imagined by 19th century physicists, but something much more sophisticated. The quantum fields that permeate all of space-time. Space-time itself, according to general relativity, is a dynamic entity that can curve, vibrate, and undulate. Perhaps the ancients, with their idea of a universal plenum, a subtle medium that fills all of space, had it right. Only what they called ether, we today call the quantum field. Einstein was right to reject the classical ether based on absolute Euclidean space. But modern physics is also right to rediscover that there really is a something that fills space. Only this something is much more elegant and mysterious than 19th century physicists could have imagined. But there is one last frontier that could be the most revolutionary of all. Physicists like Federico Faggin, the inventor of the microprocessor, proposed that even consciousness could emerge from a quantum field. According to quantum consciousness theories, our ability to think, feel, and be aware may not be just the result of electrochemical processes in the brain, but the interaction of brain matter with a quantum consciousness field that permeates the universe. If this were the case, it would mean that consciousness is not an accidental product of biological evolution, but a fundamental property of the cosmos, woven into the very structure of quantum space-time. Think about it. If everything emerges from invisible quantum fields, mass from the Higgs field, forces from gauge fields, and perhaps even consciousness from a quantum field of awareness, then the reality we perceive is only the tip of the iceberg of something infinitely vaster and more mysterious. 21st century science is showing us that the universe is not made of solid things, but of patterns of information that dance in invisible fields. Everything we call real, your body, the earth, the stars, is the emergence of something much deeper and more fundamental. The Higgs boson is not just a particle, it is the key that opens the door to a completely new vision of reality. A reality in which the invisible creates the visible, in which quantum fields weave the fabric of existence, in which perhaps even consciousness is woven into the fundamental structure of the cosmos. We still don't know where this understanding will lead us. But one thing is certain, we are only at the beginning of a journey that could change not only our understanding of the universe, but our understanding of who we really are. If this journey into the invisible nature of reality has fascinated you as much as it has fascinated me, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. In the next videos, we will explore other frontiers of quantum physics, consciousness, and the mysteries of the universe. Share this video with anyone you think might appreciate these profound topics. Thank you for being with me on this journey, and I'll see you in the next episode.